Azure Latch. We need to talk. Recently, I've noticed that Azure Latch has not been in a good spot recently whatsoever, with development, with update releases, or anything of the sort like that. Um, and you know, I thought this would be a good opportunity to express the flaws of what is currently happening with AL right now. That is going to be the main topic of this video. So if you are not interested, you can go ahead and click off. If you are interested, however, be my guest. Let me know any feedback, anything of the sort. But let's get into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is the false promises of the update schedule. So when Boss Studios first came into, power, Brandon, the main owner, made it very clearly stated that the update schedule was going to be content updates, which, are regarded of multiple different things, of new things, such as perfect example was when they added the new Ren fake shot ult. That is content. That is a part of a content. Um, just new things entirely, new things to play in the game, new things to do in the game. That is, a content update. A new cutscene to an already existing thing is not a content update. That is not new content. It is simply just a visual quality of life thing. And then he also promised it was going to be quality of life after content. So it was going to go content to quality of life to content to quality of life and to repeat. And honestly, I don't like that. I did not like the idea of that update schedule. I thought maybe, hey, maybe we should just do like every 2 week content, maybe, add do little small hot fixes here and there. Don't make an entire update based on quality of life. Don't try to force the update every other week. You know what I'm saying? So just give yourself time, give yourself a deadline to make it, so you aren't pushing your development team to hit deadlines because they're focusing on a quality of life update. The past 2 updates that we have had have, if I'm not mistaken, have both been quality of life. Completely undermining the fact of what Brandon had said in his message and announcements. If you need to skip a week for you to catch back up to your updates, do that. Let the community know, because this is, at some point, this is going to start turning into an ALS situation, which I'm going to make a video on ALS here in a few days about how their update schedule is horrible. They continue to delay updates up until Wednesday, and they're supposed to update on weekends. So and it looks like that's what's going to happen with AL, because they're slowly pushing updates back to at first it was Saturday night, then it was Sunday morning, then it was Sunday night, and God forbid what the next update is going to be. But if you need to switch to the community favorite monthly updates, that's fine, dude. That's simply fine. Going to 1 month content updates so it can be quality over quantity, that's perfectly fine. I am much rather okay with that, rather than being promised content to quality of life to content to quality of life. I'd rather be promised 1 month I'd rather be promised 1 month content. I think that is much better. I think that is much better than the content quality of life promise that was still not upheld in his regard. The next thing I want to talk about is the unneeded shadow nerfs that that this dev team so actively just disregards every time this changelog comes out. The first example of this was Naruhaya footwork on Isagi. There was no claim about this in the change log, the update log, or anything about that they removed his iframes. Nobody knew it was a thing until it became a problem, because it was a problem. Isagi was genuinely unusable because he had no iframes whatsoever. He was the only character in the game without any dribble moves, without any iframes on his moves whatsoever. Another example is Rom Titter on Nell Isagi. The iframes were taken away from it without it being in the patch log. If I'm wrong about this, I will go fix it and I will put it on the screen for you to see, but I am 100% sure 99%, let me fix myself. I'm 99% sure this was not put in the change log or update log whatsoever. Another thing is the most recent update is Lorenzo got 3 new, no, in the newest update, there has been shadow nerfs. Lorenzo got 2 new shadow nerfs, which again, they're not even that big of a deal. I personally don't think they're that crazy. But the fact that you went out of your way to not say it when they're such like drastic changes to the game is a little crazy to me. So what he got shadow nerfed was he has QTEs on every single skill now. Unawakened, awakened, anything. When Chigiri and Kunigami and Sei, who are all not defending styles by the way, all have auto steals without QTEs. Awakened or not, it makes 0 sense whatsoever. There's literally 0 mindset to that decision at all. Again, I personally don't care. I think that's perfectly fine, you know. Auto steal. I think every auto steal needs a QTE. But enough on that. Another thing Lorenzo got shadow nerfed was they added his ragdoll, his knockback, sorry. They added his knockback on his 3 move, his deflect move. They added the knockback back, which again is not that big of a deal, but the fact that you went out of your way to not put it in the update log is concerning. It's like, why are you doing this? Are you scared that your community is going to give you backlash for doing a change? I personally don't understand it. And the biggest shadow nerf that I've seen this update that just came out, the one that came out this weekend, 2 days ago, was Borrow does not have iframes on his long shot anymore. This could be a bug. This could be a completely messed up bug that they didn't even mean to do. All of this, blah, blah, blah. But if it's intentional and you forgot to put that in the patch log, that is horrible. That is one of the biggest nerfs that I've ever seen in my life. Because Borrow does not have a shot like Kaiser. Borrow does not have a fast shot. Borrow's shot is a good, I'd say decently long wind up of a shot. And he has no iframes now. Meaning, you kind of fucked the style entirely. You gave him iframes on the startup for King's Path, which was amazing. That was an amazing balance change, by the way. The stuff like that, keep that coming. That's amazing. But then you take away his iframes for his shot. Is this to set up gamble shot? No, it's not. I guarantee you it's not. Just a complete random, maybe a bug, but if it's not and it's an actual nerf, it literally makes no sense whatsoever at all. Makes 0 sense. Now there's other occasions that there's shadow nerfs that I cannot think of at this current moment. If you know any, please leave a comment, whatever, do that. But currently these are all the ones that I can currently bring up, and so we'll just go ahead and move on to our next topic. The glitches and bugs in this game at this current moment are genuinely insane. Like, actually, because you take 4 to 5 hours for maintenance to test for this update, and you're telling me you don't see the Kunigami awakening being bugged? Are we dead ass? Like, legitimately, every time someone awakens with Kunigami, it is bugged. And you 100% tested it because you have Kunigami changes on the patch log. Meaning, if your testers did their job, they should have seen that the awakening is fucked. But I guess we just don't care, right? Another thing is when this update came out, at least 25% of the changes that were on the patch log were not in the game at all. Kunigami's ultimate, his demon's contract, ended his ult still. And there was a multitude of other things, such as 0 reset turn off of Nagi's control. You can cancel the end lag on control now if you use 0 reset turn. But it does not undermine the fact that the 0 reset turn after you use control gives you 0 iframes. 0. You can literally be slid in 2 during the entire 0 reset turn animation. Now, if I'm not wrong, they fixed some of this. They fixed some of these bugs. I think they fixed the Kunigami ult draining on the ult usage. So props to them. Can we get a public, adding of that? Like we would like to know when small things like this get changed. So can you please let your community know when small things get changed, please? Moving on to the next topic. Again, this kind of contributes to the previous one. Just the overall lack of attention towards this game at the moment. There's no way y'all test half this stuff. There's genuinely no way y'all test half this stuff. Because again, if you were testing, you would see that there are very visual bugs on a very certain character that, again, I do not have to name because I've already brought him up 4 times. If you can't see that, then there's obviously a lack of attention to the game. There should be no excuse for that whatsoever, at all. Moving on to the next thing. The balancing with the game right now, I will not say is horrible. I say the balance is pretty fine. I say there are a few characters that do need to be changed here and there, but I think the game is perfectly fine right now. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't think there's anything bad with the game right now. Maybe Say needs a little bit of dribbling nerf. I did see the dribbling nerf you did with his one last update. I mean, this update, which, in my opinion, was amazing. You know, he was literally the best style in the game at the current time because of his rework. But I think he's pretty good now. I think you slow down his dribbling speed and where he can go, but you also give him his iframes back on his shots, so that makes up for the dribbling nerf. So I don't see a problem with the game's balancing right now. If you have any problems, let me know with the balancing. And moving on to the last topic. Ranked is a fucking shit show, dude. Genuinely a shit show. If you go into ranked right now, I'll put up a clip on screen right now so you can see what I had to go through when I played ranked. Ranked is literally as if somebody turned a lag switch on. I think somebody genuinely has a lag switch manually on in ranked, because why is nobody moving yet the ball still go, like the ball is still moving? Like, people are moving, but nobody else can see them. It doesn't make any sense. This is not just me, by the way, who couldn't see them in the clip. Everybody in the server. If I could turn the volume on for y'all, I will. But if I'm not going to, literally all of my teammates were saying the same exact thing as me. Everybody was just frozen, stuttering. And you know what's crazy is in the clip, if I'm not wrong, my ping was on. And if I'm not wrong, I was averaging 200 ping. 200 ping does not cause my gameplay, or anybody's gameplay for that matter, to be that. Meaning that is a performance issue. That is not a internet related issue. That is a performance issue on the side of the game. That is nothing to do with my internet, my teammates' internet, the enemy's internet, or anything like that. That is a complete performance issue on AL side. Overall, that was mainly it. I think the most TLDR, I think the most that you could get out of this is be vocal with your game, dude. Like just communicate. Like, when y'all do small stuff like this, when y'all do the shadow nerfs, anything, just let us know that it happened, dude. You're obviously going to get some backlash for certain stuff, but you're gonna get backlash anyway, bro. Are we being for real? Your game owner is Brandon. Your game owner is literally the guy who buys games. He's literally known for buying games and them dying in the next month or two. Like, you're gonna get backlash either way, dude. Just at this point, just suck it up. Just put the change in the patch log so we can see it, please. Because that's just stupid that you're trying to hide changes and you know that it's going to get backlash. It's genuinely stupid. Just stop doing it. It makes no sense. And a suggestion that I can add for this is, if you're going to give an auto steal a QTE, give every auto steal a QTE. Because there should be no reason why the best defender in the series of scaling wise, and quote quotedly scaled the highest defender in the series, has a QTE rather than Chigiri and Baro and Sei and Kunigami, when they're not even defenders. The closest thing to a defender on that whole fork list is Kunigami. And if you're not going to do QTEs, then just make the steals for those. Make the steals for those characters just one steal. Chigiri, I think, still has 2 steals. Give Don Lorenzo 2 with no QTE, and it'd be perfectly fine. You know what's crazy is you're not even favoring Aiku over Don, because Aiku is literally horrible right now. Reflex tackle, just not a good steal move anymore. I mean, at that, you have to be kissing the other person to use the steal move. Again, I don't think that's bad. It's just not a good steal move, but if you use it right, then it's fine. Venom Trap has no hitbox whatsoever. If you catch any shots with Venom Trap, you're just goated. You're goated, bro. Because I can't. I just can't. And Serpent's Walkway is fine. And then y'all gutted the hell out of Ultimate Defense. You have to literally be kissing the ball as it flies over you to be able to use it. Anyways, enough of me yapping. That was mainly my video. I appreciate you guys for watching. If you have any feedback or anything of the sort, put in the comments. Like the video, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.
Tensions, they rise, it's crazy. No point of falling, baby. Digging up, breaking down my baby. You feel the surge. The tension is racing. My head hurts, it's pacing. Girl, the tension is racing. My head hurts, it's pacing.